Welcome to another edition of Comet Algebra. This video is for Algebra 2, Chapter 2, Section 3, Writing Linear Equations. We're going to start with an example asking us to write a linear equation in slope-intercept form that passes through this point with a slope of 2/3. So first thing I like to write down is the goal here is the slope-intercept form. So I'm going to write y equals mx plus b. So we have that to look at as our guide. This is our goal, is to write a linear equation. Our answer will have an x in it. It will have a y in it. We just have to find the numbers m and b for this particular line. So I will remind myself here that I need to find m and b. Then we look at the information that we have been given, and sometimes finding the slope is real easy. Sometimes it's more of a challenge. Depends on what the info is that we start with. And this time, this is awesome. They just tell us that the slope is 2/3, so that is m. So I'm just really happy, and we write it down, and then we can move on. So let's talk about this ordered pair 2, 1. Just to review for a moment the definition of a line. A line is the set of all points that if it were possible for me to draw these points close enough together that they actually touched each other, all of these points make up a line, and every single one of them is an XY location on the graph, and there's gazillions, millions, there's an infinite number of XY points that make up this line. And this ordered pair 2, 1 just happens to be one of these XY points that lies on the line that we're looking for. So of these four letters, Y, M, X, and B, of these four letters, we know M, and then I'll just come over here and label, this is XY. So of the four letters, we know three of them. Well, you're an algebra student. You can plug in the three numbers that you know and solve for the missing B. So this is the only one I don't know. So let's put, where we see the Y, let's put the 1. Where we see the M, we'll put the 2/3. We're multiplying that times X. X is 2. I'm just going to write the 2 as 2/1 because my m is a fraction. That might make it easier for me to see the multiplying, plus b. So go ahead and multiply, and we get 4/3 plus b. And then if we subtract the 4/3 from both sides, I was kind of thinking of this 1 as 3/3, and 3/3 take away 4/3 is a negative 1/3. And that's the b. So I'm going to write that over here, negative 1/3. But now, please don't stop and think, oh, I'm done, because you haven't finished. This problem wants you to write a linear equation, so your answer has to look like the equation of a line. So y equals, my m is 2/3, so we'll put that in for the slope, 2/3 x plus, I guess I should have said minus, because in this case, the b is a negative 1/3, so we'll put minus 1/3. This is the final answer that we were looking for. Now a little bit of review from geometry. I believe that you all know that parallel lines have the same slope. Parallel lines run side by side forever and never cross. Perpendicular lines, however, their slopes are related to each other. Perpendicular means, just to review, if a line is running along this way, a perpendicular of that would hit that and strike it exactly at a 90-degree angle. This is 90. And their slopes, one is positive, one is negative. And like if this slope is up 1/1, this slope would be down 1/1. So they are related to each other. They are negative reciprocals. So if you know the slope of one line, to do the reciprocal, remember you flip the fraction top to bottom and you take the negative of it, and then you'll have the slope of the perpendicular line. So let's just look at an example of each of these, a parallel example and then a perpendicular example. This one we're asked to write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form that passes through this point and is parallel to this line. Okay, this is not the line we're looking for. Our line is parallel to this one. So again, write down our goal in slope-intercept form. This is what our answer will look like. We have two things to find. We need to find m and find b. And we're not given m this time on a silver platter like we were in the last example, but the clue is that our line is parallel to this one. Now I cannot tell just by looking at this what the slope is because this is written in standard form. So let's just write this over here, and I think the easiest way would be to change this to slope-intercept form, and then we can just pull the slope right out of the equation. So doing a quick solving for y, divide both sides by 2. Now the only number I want out of here is this m. I want to take that slope because the slope of the line we're looking for is parallel to that. So I can grab this -1/2, and that is the slope for our line. But our line is different from this original line. Our line has a different y-intercept. It's going to run parallel, but it's going to cross the y somewhere else. So once again, this -2 is x, the 3 is y, and we have our slope. And so we plug in, of these 4 variables, we know 3 of them. So plug them in and solve for the missing one. So this is times a -2, and then solve for the b. So multiplying, negative times negative is positive. 1/2 times 2 is 1. And then subtracting a 1 from both sides, I get that b is 2. Once again, please don't stop here. Finish the problem by writing y equals -1/2 x plus 2. All right, one more example to look at. In this example, we are to find the equation of a line in slope-intercept form that passes through this point and is perpendicular to this line. So I don't want the slope of this line to use for my line. We're going to have to make an adjustment to it. So once again, I'm going to write my goal, y equals mx plus b. I need m and I need b. This time the line is given to us in slope-intercept form. That's kind of nice. The slope of this particular line is 3. That is not the slope I want, however. I want the perpendicular to this. So we look at this 3, and we have to take the reciprocal of that, which is 1/3, and we have to take the negative of that. So the slope that I want is the -1/3. And now, hopefully this is getting a little repetitive. I know x, I know y, I know m. So I plug those in and solve for the missing b. And when I solve, I get +1 on both sides, that b is 2. So now to finish it and write our equation, -1/3 x plus 2. All right, now you have the knowledge you need for section 2.3. Have fun with that.